Jujutsu Kaisen is always about jumping. This is the most optimal way of beating the ass of the villains. If you see a person like Mahito and fight one-on-one, you're probably gonna get your ass beat. That's exactly what happened to Yuji Itadori. That's tough. Jujutsu sorcerers in the modern day are known to tag team or fight in groups to take down these powerful curses. I mean, if it ain't jumping, it ain't JJK. Dating back all the way to when Yuta and Rika were even fighting against Geto, they always helped each other out and it was barely 1v1s. But we've just witnessed the best jumping fight in anime right here, ladies and gentlemen, and that's thanks to Yuji and Todo putting on a masterclass. So yeah, let's check how these jumpings go down. Look, Jujutsu Kaisen, before looking at the greatest jumping of all time, let us see the origins of jumping. The jumping began since the Yuta days with Rika. Yuta and Rika was boxing Geto together. It was beautiful. The eloquence of Rika assisting Yuta was sublime and that got him boom and Gojo finished the job. Then we got to look at Yuji Nanami versus Mahito. This is where, in terms of jumping, it really got real. They even got a fight back me. Nanami and Yuji were dogs in the field, but let's give credit where it's due. Mahito was treated like a ragdoll and still was able to put some hand signs up and call a domain expansion, but in the end he ran and it didn't turn out to be what he thought. He got straight smoked. This definitely goes into Jujutsu Kaisen Hall of Fame without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the memes about this was top tier during the time too. And the ultimate duo comes up next to take the reins as an iconic jumping tag team. I mean, not only is Todo that guy, when they both ended up fighting Hanami, they made it look like child's play. You didn't see struggle. The boogie woogie was in full effect, and the boogie woogie and black flash to Hanami was so bad. Hanami was complaining like the whole fight, and Gojo actually almost finished the job and murdered with the purple gun. But then the jumping stops and time flies, and there it was no longer any more jumping until Shibuya, where there was jumpings left, right and center. But that's not all. The greatest Jujutsu jumping fight came when it was Mahito, Todo and Yuji. These three didn't play. So then you gotta think about it. This all happened straight after Yuji Todori was in full despair. Nobara and Nanami getting packed up probably within 20 minutes of each other, and he had to take that in. You know, Mahito was geeked and hit Yuji with the Kokuzen. This is really tragic view, man. Do you understand how sad this is? Like an absolute bloodbath. Yuji got his ass beaten until the GOAT himself had to appear. The king of delusions. He pulls up and saves the day. This was none other than Ayui Todo. Now I'm gonna be honest, these two have fought before, and I'll go as far as to say they're probably one of the best duos to watch on the television screen since Kobe and Shaq. But it was definitely a spectacle to watch. Todo coming in with Martin Luther King's version of turning into the speech for Jujutsu sorcerers, just to help Yuji get up and get back on his feet, to know the real meaning of being a Jujutsu sorcerer. And when you really sit and listen and hear him talk, he is saying some real stuff, man. Although sometimes he can come across over exaggerated as a character, it is undeniable the star power he has in the front lines. So why is this, without a doubt, the greatest anime jumping of all time? You've seen it for yourself. And obviously there's people that's gonna bring some random Naruto fight or an anime that nobody really cares about like that to try and justify it. But Jujutsu Kaisen made the good guys jump the villain a trend. No one-on-ones allowed for real. I mean, look at what the villains tried to do to Gojo. The jumping is serious in this anime, I'm telling you. Alas, in the fight, we see the return of the Boogie Woogie, messing up Mahito, and it ankle broke him so hard that Yuji was able to charge up the Janjaken and be able to hit one of the nastiest charge ups I've seen. That caught Mahito off guard, but bro was chilling. It didn't even look like it hurt. You look at the fight and realize the whole train station is getting annihilated. I mean, even Mahito brings out some random transfigured human and uses it as a train. Don't know about you guys, but somebody gotta put Mahito down. He's an excellent villain, don't get me wrong, because he's good at making people want to hate him. Just straight up menace, no cap, and was the first individual to consecutively split up the people jumping it, to the point Todo's hands were full and he did the boogie woogie with his arse cheeks.
What?
Now, if you want to tell me that ain't true, then tell me what clapped in this moment right here. I mean, it wasn't his hands, so what was it? And I don't know if that power gave him a buff seriously, because he turned into prime All Might, smiling and exaggerating the scenarios times 100. Like galaxy was moving, mini flashbacks, a constellation of Yuji. Todo is so goofy but entertaining at the same time, man. And that allowed him to do the Black Flash, which again, it didn't even phase Mahito one bit. Makes you wonder, how do you beat this man? In before, the duo gets sent above the ground and having to fight a Mahito that looked like he forgot to take his meds. Now, this last stage of the fight didn't shy away from being epic whatsoever. The movement and tag team work was exceptional. I mean, how is Mahito's body used as a toy in real time? Todo is clapping to the point even I, as a viewer, don't know where or who he's going to clap to at all. But Mahito is good at shapeshifting, changing his body, looking very ugly in this case as well. As I said before, Orochimaru walked so Mahito could run. That's the only answer to how he's like this. But even with this, Jeff and Matt Hardy tag team, they might as well be fighting a boss battle, because why does Mahito get stronger every time he gets beaten up? You think he's Goku in the Tournament of Power at this point. He might actually end up reaching Ultra Instinct. But Todo gets sent to like another country or continent. I mean, the way that he was sent so far, Mahito using his puppeteering and manipulation to punch the hell out of him, he was delirious out of his mind till he figured the trick out, and yeah, Todo was ready to body them. But Mahito is the king of separating the two. Yuji though still has that dog in him. Without Todo, the mismatch is tough. The skill of Mahito's attacks are no joke. Todo even joins back with his dance partner, aka his brother, and they already throwing hands against Mahito again because the end is fast approaching until Ryuki Tenkai. 0.2 seconds was used by Mahito. Now let me be completely honest, I have no idea why Mahito seems to be having the main character power-ups. Like, you could have given that to Yuji. Yuji doesn't even get buffs, let alone a whole new domain expansion buff to avoid getting killed by Sukuna. Mahito even squared up to Sukuna. This kid is brave. But that's when the duo had their work cut out for them, and sadly Mahito actually hit Todo with the domain and it catches his arm, and the end of Boogie Woogie is near. My best of friend Todo, I hate that you had to cut your arm off like that, and then after Mahito ends up hitting you with a full Black Flash in the belly too. This is absurd, man. He almost lost his life right there and then. How does a man recover from something like that? He can't clap his hands anymore, but came in a clutch and clapped the hand of Mahito to activate the technique to then visit a Yuji Black Flash to the face. So really and truly, you have to admit Todo is the GOAT at this point. I mean, how was he able to think on the fly and get away with it too? The team ain't dead and the fight continues. Yuji and Todo, they're putting up amazing numbers on the board right now. But Mahito, for someone that is handicapped, you gotta give the credit where it's due. He is on another level. Then Yuji and Mahito are back to a one-on-one. Todo's looking out of commission right about now, so they are putting on cinema for us. And as their final punches are about to reach each other, after their scrap with all the punches, all the movement, everything that you'd want in a fight, Mahito gets caught lacking by a divergent fist because it hits him twice. Todo gets up from above too, coming in with last minute Boogie Woogie assist, and it was a whole pump fake. It was magical. This has got to be one of the greatest pump fake and assists of all time, allowing Yuji to connect the final Back Flash. Tell me Todo did not bring out one of the most MVP performances in Jujutsu Kaisen. I would even say, as a support character, the most MVP performance in all of anime, before the legendary "I'm you" speech. Yuji damned Mahito to death. I mean, the things he was saying, you gotta really take it in. Yuji was spitting, he made him feel like shit, he was cooking him, like Yuji was that guy. And you can see the comparison of Yuji and Mahito, the predator catching his prey. It was just cinema, it was just beautiful. But that will conclude the end of the jumping duo, as it seems Todo's arm is gone. It's sad times. Give a little bit of a round of applause for Yuji Itadori and Airi Todo. I mean, without them, I don't know where Jujutsu Kaisen would be. I believe that Todo's dynamic with Yuji is one of the best I've seen in quite a while, because he's not just a big guy that is just brute force and trying to overwhelm you. He's so unique, especially with his personality and his boogie woogie. And then you have Yuji Itadori, who was able to come from death itself because of how he felt and accepted the fact that he is Mahito and Mahito is him. But it doesn't matter anymore because he's gonna kill him. This is what I love when it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen, and whenever something fire in Jujutsu Kaisen happens, I will be there. At least they didn't have a failed jumping like Dagon versus Nanami Maki, and Obito. I've never seen a jumping in my life go that wrong from the good guys. Maybe from villains, because when they try and, gang up against the main characters, but I've never seen good guys gang up on someone and get beaten as bad, and some actually died. Like, it was just a complete massacre, and it was pretty funny too. But anyway, thank you for watching the video on the screen. Click for more entertaining videos like this one. And as I say to new and old people that come and visit my channel, Jana.